Hello, everybody, it's Tim here again to another movie review. Not really horror related, more action sci-fi. If you haven't seen these films, I highly recommend them. The Chronicles of Riddick flicks with Vin Diesel. He does a great job as Riddick. Some people like the Fast and the Furious movies. I don't mind them. I wanted to do reviews on them, but I haven't gotten around to them yet. But anyway, Vin Diesel in these films is great. This is my favorite character of his. He's great here. Sometimes when he tries to emote a little bit more, he's a little bit off. But for 99% of the time to 100, he's great in these films. Pitch Black is a classic. He pretty much plays a hardened criminal who winds up on this planet while they're transporting him. And there's all these creatures that see at night or whatever, hunt at night. And Vin Diesel's character has glowing eyes and he hunts at night too. You got Cole Hauser in here as this abusive bounty hunter or whatever who's captured him, who tries to like sacrifice a little kid later to the monster so he can get away. And him and Vin Diesel have a pretty neat fight. He ends up getting killed. The main girl, played by Rhoda Mitchell, who does a really good job here, at the end sacrifices her life to save Vin Diesel. So it's a pretty cool twist there because you don't expect her to die. And this film really could have just been a standalone, but it's neat that they wanted to make it into a universe. This is really a horror sci-fi flick, not really an action movie. There's a hilarious scene though where Vin Diesel kills one of the aliens, like twists his head around and goes, "Do not know who was effing with." That was hilarious. I love it at the end because he's in the vehicle and he's like, "Can't leave yet without saying goodnight." And he turns on the thrusters or whatever, the engine, and it shoots his fire out and kills a bunch of the creatures before they fly off. That was cool. I like how the creatures hunt at night or whatever, only at night, and they got pretty much like night vision like he does. Just a great movie. Yeah, some of the characters are nothing to write home about. Like Keith David is in this film. He does great, but he has these multiple kids who are just cannon fodder. They're all useless. All in all, almost 4-star out of 4 flick. Great film, well directed. David Twohy does this film, and he does a great job directing wise. There's some fun suspense in the film. One of the women here was on the show Fire Escape, I recognize, who gets torn in half. Pretty cool death. Chronicles of Riddick, the sequel. A lot of people are kind of split on this one. I'll say this: the director's cut is better than the theatrical cut. It goes in a totally different direction. And I like that idea, but at the same time, it loses a lot of the cool tension and epic horror moviness that made the first one special. This is pretty much just a grand sci-fi action flick with Riddick as the hero. There's these bad guys named the necromongers who like steal people's souls or whatever, and they want to conquer the whole galaxy and turn everybody into necromongers. And of course, Riddick has to save them. Totally different vibe here. A lot more special effects. Judi Dench plays like this Avatar, airbender type alien. And Vin Diesel gets in the fight with the main guy at the end. He's like, "I'm going to take your soul." And Vin Diesel's like, "F you." It was pretty neat little fight at the end. Yeah, all in all, I would give this one 3 out of 4. It's not as good or sharp as Pitch Black, but it's a good action flick. There's some really cool action with Vin Diesel, like when he's twisting down this rope or whatever, and it snaps, and he falls down this prison place where these bounty hunters put him, and he starts whooping ass. That was cool. They bring back the girl from the first film whose character's developed here, where she wants to be like Riddick. She's like a big fanboy of Riddick. That was cool as well. She dies at the end, which also was unexpected and sad. She dies saving Vin Diesel's life by stabbing the bad guy in the back. Carl Urban is great here. These films really feel like they're building up to a match-off between Carl Urban and Riddick. You get to the next film, which is just called, well, Riddick. I would give it, the theatrical version, I would give it 3 stars out of 4. It's good, but it's the weakest of the 3. The uncut version, however, with the new extended ending added in, I would give 4 out of 4. It's better than Chronicles. Pretty much, it's the problem with the flick is it redoes Pitch Black, but it adds in enough flavor to give it its own vibe. Riddick wants to get away from the necromongers, which he took over at the end of Chronicles of Riddick, and he wants to go back to his home planet of Furia. And Carl Urban tells him he'll drop him off there, but this one dude who's working for Carl Urban, not Carl Urban himself, this dude who's working for him, betrays him and dumps him off on this planet where there's these alien, like, water-like creatures, and Vin Diesel teams up with this dog, which is pretty cool, but the dog dies and you see it coming, which is pretty lame. These other bounty hunters show up to get Vin Diesel, and it's predictable that the dog's gonna die. It would have been cooler had like Riddick and the dog survived the whole flick and the dog like joined him in the next movie. That would have been cooler. But yeah, they do really well with him bonding with the alien dog. It reminds me of like the Will Smith movie, I Am Legend. They do a really good job doing it. And the chick from I forgot her name. The played Starbone, Battlestar Galactica's in here. Katie Sackhoff, that's it. She's hot. She's here. I believe she's actually married to Carl Urban in real life, which is funny. And you get a guy here who's supposed to be like the father of Cole Hauser, even though he's like pretty young. So I guess the idea is like he's been in hypersleep or whatever, and he wants to know what happened to his son. He finds out at the end, him and Riddick and Rhoda Mitchell and this over-the-top, almost parody of a religious guy are the ones that make it out of there. And at the end, Riddick heads off to go back to Carl Urban or whatever and find out what's going on. He finds out the Scarface dude or whatever is the one that betrayed him, not Carl Urban. That's the guy that worked for Carl Urban. So he kills him, and he sees the Underverse or whatever, which is the place the Necromonders worship and try to get to. It gives them supernatural powers. And Carl Urban is in there, and he's saying, like, transcendence. So it gives a hint that the next movie is going to be, like, Riddick in the Underverse, like, going after Carl Urban to, like, whoop his ass or whatever. Or to stop him from getting all-powerful to try to take over the galaxy or whatever. That's a cool idea. Keep it simple, kind of more away from the big ultra sci-fi epicness of the Chronicles film. Keep it simple. Have Vin Diesel, like his character, go to the Underverse, go there, battle some creatures and spiritual demons and everything, take on Carl Urban at the end, and then have the fourth film be him back to his home planet and seeing how it all looks now and what's going on with it, and have his ultimate, like, villain, yes, it's a cliche, but have his ultimate adversary be like another Furion, have him take on someone of his own kind, like trying to lead his people or something. That would be really cool. But yeah, all in all, the Riddick saga is a great franchise. I highly recommend it. So I'll see you guys again with the next review. And David Twohy directs all three and does a good job. And I'll see you guys again with the next review.